How about before, you actually decided to change? Did you have any experience with the children? Did you, because I think from my own experience, until you're
Mhm.
actually in the water, when you're working with the children, then when you
Yeah.
realize, okay,
Fun-
is it for me?
Funny enough, because I'm the youngest of the five in the family,
Oh.
so I didn't have that experience. But I
Mm-hmm.
was very young at the time. I was 17 at the time. And like I said, it's that first year. And because I've seen my mom and her twin sister, when they're talking about the experiences in school, they're talking about, what they're doing with the children. Sometimes I'm helping my mom to cut out things. That's the sort of experience I had, not the practical side. But I did
Mm-hmm.
have the feeling, through my mom and her sister at the time,
Mm-hmm.
through their discussions and through bringing things home to say, we're doing this with the children. Can you help? Can you help with this? Can you help with that? And that
Mm-hmm.
sort of sparked my interest. Oh, that's nice. That sort of thing. Yeah.
What I used to do, I used to babysit children in our neighborhood, my neighbors, since I remember maybe 7, 8, I was always drawn to the children. When I was playing, I was always playing mums and dads and babies and families. It was something, it came to natural. But if you thinking about, for example, how to test the water in UK, you can do the same. Look at the community, say, can I help you if there is a newborn baby in your community, church, or whatever community you have around yourself? Just say, can I come and help you out? Can I help you bath the baby? Obviously, you need to know those people because they need to know you. But there is also opportunity for you to work as a volunteer in nursery, or childminders, or even as an unqualified person in a nursery, right? So just do your CV, contact agencies, contact nurseries, and see what opportunity is there. We have a lot of people who come to us to do the courses after they have some kind of experience in nursery. And there are nurseries with whom we work as well, and Elizabeth works as well. So if you don't mind, if you're interested, we can have another chat. You can call me, some other time, and we can have a look at your CV and maybe kind of I can help you with the exact step if you kind of feel overwhelmed and you don't know where to start.
Mm.
Okay.
And on the back of that, Renata, there are two very, very new approaches that the government is just releasing. One of them was released 2 weeks ago, just to buttress what you've just mentioned, that a lot of the training providers that help to accredit practitioners, caregivers now, they offer something called a boot camp, which is usually a 12-week program for someone who wants to transit from one career to another, or for someone who's not even got the experience but wants to test the waters. In my own times, that wasn't existing, but now it is existing. So
Yeah.
training providers offer 12-week boot camps now, where you actually get snippets of all the aspects of early years, and you can see whether it's a fit for you. That's one. The other one, which is just being launched 3rd of March, is an experience-based route where you can actually work in a nursery. If you've had previous experience, like Renata said, either through nannying or through babysitting, you can actually approach nurseries now. And it's a quicker route. You can do it within 900 hours, which if you're working full time, that takes you to about 6 months. And
And you
and
can get qualified.
yes,
Yeah.
and you get qualified as a level 3 straight. And
Mm-hmm.
and that is at the discretion of the nursery manager, who is stamped as the assessor. This is a very, very new approach that has been launched on the 3rd of March, but the level 3 qualification will not start counting until September 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone who wants to change career, that's another pathway that you could explore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Or sometimes we have older students who perhaps haven't been in school for many years and have a
exactly,
lot of experience, and they feel a bit nervous
exactly.
at going back into school and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
they come to nursery and just stay, fit in right in, really great colleagues,
Yeah.
amazing with the children. So that's a very good route. The only thing I'm not really sure, maybe you have answer for it, but we can talk about it at some other time, is that
Yeah.
whether you are only qualified for that particular nursery, or you can take that qualification to another nursery as well.
Yeah. So just like what Renata has said, as you know, when the government has just launched a new idea or a new pathway, it's still open to change and adaptation and things like that. I believe that between now and September, when that experience-based route starts to count, there will still be further changes. So we just have to look out for those changes. But one thing I would say is that while that helps with the shortfall that we have in the early years sector now, I still believe in the full qualification pathway, which is what London School of Childcare Studies offers. I still believe in that one because you go into both the theory and the practical. You still have an opportunity to have the experience for a longer period of time. So that will be suitable for those who want to have a gradual transition rather than spend all their time in a nursery, working in a nursery, because you will have to consider things like your finances. You know, if you're going to work 40 hours a week full time in a nursery, is it commensurate with what you're earning now? Is it lower? For someone who is an administrative executive, and then becoming an apprentice in a nursery, unless you've got savings that you can rely on during that time, how does that work for you? But with the kind of qualifications offered in London School of Childcare Studies, you can do it part-time and you can still work part-time. There are other pathways that will be suitable. So you just have to find what suits your
Yeah.
lifestyle.
We have lots of nannies who do that. They decide not to go and work in a nursery straight away as unqualified. They get very close to the end qualification when a lot of nurseries are desperate for,
Yes,
qualified people. So now you suddenly have many more options because they're looking at you as almost qualified. So your salary is higher. So it's not the salary is much higher. So that switch is not that dramatic, if you have to go down and
that's
work in
right.
the nursery and study. So yeah, so it's exciting because it's so many options, and you can kind of, sometimes it's quite overwhelming to have too many options because you're like, oh, which one? But once you dig in, and we hopefully can answer some of your questions, or we're going to have more session about those, and we can answer your question, which route is the best for you? Because, for example, level 3 is so amazing that you can go to level 5, right? And then you can top it up with a degree.
That's right.
And then
Yes.
you can also get teacher status after that. There is a top up. So you don't have to go to university to be a teacher
No.
or have a degree. You can achieve it through doing a levels, which is much more affordable way, right?
Yes.
And you also kind of, the university, you have to finish the university. Yeah. So you're building up for 3 years. Whereas when you do it through levels, it's like you're doing those steps, and you higher and higher. So it might be much better route to get where you want through the levels. Where I come from, lots of, I don't know if you've got people from Europe, there are no options like that. I think UK is amazing that you've got apprenticeship, you've got that boot camp, you've got these levels, and now we've got experience based. So really, really many options. So make advantage of it. So, and if you've got any questions, something isn't clear, please come to us because we want to do more of those sessions like we do today to help you out to find your way in
And
earliest.
everything we've just talked about is covered in my book, that because when I started my first nursery, I realized during supervisions that staff thought it was a dead end field, a dead end career. I'm just going to get my level 3 and work in a nursery forever. And, so my book covers all the steps that you've just talked about, the different pathways. I wrote the book back in 2019, and it's still very valid and relevant today because early years is still as stable as ever. So various pathways, the flexibility is one of the greatest assets that this sector has in terms of, not every sector has that. I don't think you can become a medical doctor by doing different levels. It's either you go straight in and do the qualification, the degree, and then do all your practicals, do all of those things. But early years gives you that flexibility, which is really, really good, like you said, Renat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.